The other day I walked into my living room after I finished one of these videos for this series, and my husband looked at me and he goes, "Are you just recording a video?" And I said, "Yeah." And he's like, "Looking like that?" Oh my gosh. I was like, "Yes, honey," because it's that's the real. Like sometimes for your business to get a course done, you gotta do it at inconvenient times, like when you don't have the face full of makeup, when you are just having your first cup of coffee for the morning, whenever it is that your creative time is. And for me, it's like early in the morning before the world wakes up. So it just made me laugh. I hope it gives you a little giggle too. What I've been doing so far for the last 40 minutes or so is taking my build outlines and turning them into fully fledged lessons. So what I mean by that is a lot of my content requires visuals. So I've been doing some of the graphics, which pivot alert, I was talking to my team the last couple days. So we have three graphic designers on our team. Shout out to I spell KM and Roxanne. And they're amazing. And they're so amazing that they're at full capacity with our team. So I was planning on leveraging my graphic design team, and I can't actually do that if I want to record these videos within the next few days. So I am doing my best to just make it work. I'm pretty decent at graphic design. They're way better than me, but for this use case of doing, a free program for other people, and given the assets that I already have to work with, like I can repurpose a lot of things into like I can repurpose a lot of design into new ideas. So it's going to be fine. It's just going to take me probably 30% more time than I thought it was going to get this ready to film. Let me show you what I'm working on. Okay, so on the left, you'll see my outlines that I walked through in the last video, and on the right, you'll see the slide deck that I'm working on. Like 95% of the time, we build in Canva. However, I had a lot of slide deck assets in Google from all of the guest presentations that I've done, and I had some in Canva. And so I just kind of brought them all into Google for me. I was just the choice that I made, and I didn't think too much about it. I just chose, which is kind of what you want to do a lot of the time is just keep yourself in momentum. There's 7 lessons that I'm working on right now, and I was trying to get through, I think it was the framework one. I was trying to kind of go in order, and I was just getting a little stuck, a little like, So I just went to something that I do have energy for, which is the recording stuff, something a little more easy, a little more technical. So I just want you to know, like, you don't have to go in order. There is no prescriptive way to take outlines and turn them into slides, or just do talking heads, and it gets messy before it gets clean. It's kind of like spring cleaning. You pull out all of the boxes in the closet, you take out everything that you want to donate, and then you're left with kind of like this mess before everything gets put back and organized. So I think just keep that in mind as you're going through this whole process. Is there You can do it however you want, and whatever keeps you in momentum, that's what I highly, highly recommend. Because if you slow on projects like this, oh my gosh, they end up taking forever, just never get done. That's what I've found. So just keep yourself in momentum. So I was doing this recording section. Where is it? I'll scroll to it. Yeah, here. No, that's building. Okay, here we go. So the top 5 ways to record your program. And I had this idea to do a matrix. A matrix is just a fancy word for a table. So a matrix allows you to see pros and cons pretty easily. If I zoom in over here, so you can kind of see, right? And this is just needs to be deleted. Here's the method of recording, and I'm gonna go in and add what you need to know about presentation skills, production quality, and video editing as related to the recording method, because those are really the pillars that are going to help you make the decision. So they're the questions you should be asking to determine what is the best way to record. Now, this, I just took this slide I had, I duplicated it, and I changed it. So that's what I mean by like, I have a lot of assets. Like if you have a slide deck template, if you have a workbook template from the start, so helpful because then you can just plug in rather than trying to figure out, oh, what should this look like? Okay. Now, the other thing to mention about me creating these slides and really fleshing out what's in that outline is that I don't, because I need to go faster, I'm not going to make slides for everything. Like, there is going to be a large element of this program that's just me talking head, very similar to these videos. Like, I'll start talking head, just me, hi. And then at some point in the video, I'll bring up my screen and share it. So because I have that flexibility, I don't have to put everything on a slide because I don't have to start the video on slides. And you can just do that in Zoom. Um, However, if you're doing, a video that is all screen share, like all slide deck, for instance, you can do that in Loom. And I mean, there's so many. We use Riverside in the agency, if you know Riverside. So there's so many different ways to do it. But it all kind of depends on your editing and all of that good stuff. We'll get more into recording in my recording video, but it is something you want to start thinking about during the build process because the whatever assets you create directly related to the build, it like inside the build process, whether that's a slide deck or graphics or not, that will affect how you need to record the entire training itself. One of our hacks, if you're doing a training that you're doing both talking head and slide deck for, is to have a slide where it just has the talking points you want to hit, or maybe in your case, the script you want to use for the talking head section. Let me show you what I mean. So I just finished this lesson on the top 5 ways to record your program. I'm changing this to methods. See what I'm saying? Like you can do a title and you just got to get 80% good on the outline because then you get into it and you're like, it's actually methods. Okay, I digress. Listen, on this slide, this is all of my content that I'm going to want to say that I don't have slides for. Like I don't have slides for any of this stuff, but I can do talking head, right? And then when I start screen sharing, I'll screen share where I actually want to start, which is on this slide. And then I'll run through to the end and stop screen sharing. So if you're in a position where you're kind of hybridizing lesson types, you might have some talking head, you might have some slide deck, maybe you have some screen share, like what I'm doing right now. This is technically a screen share video. You can always do that where you have your talking points on a slide or in a location, and you use that to do your talking head section before you screen share or show slides or whatever it is that is the next lesson type that you're dovetailing into. You can even do that with interviews if you wanted, like so many different options, but I just find it's easier because then all of my notes and script is in one location. Otherwise, I would have been like talking about this and then like, oh, it's time to screen share. Oh, I got to go to the slides. Oh, where's that file? Like everything is all in one place. And I'm back. It's 7 o'clock, so I'm wrapping up this little session here. I spent about 90 minutes. I've completely outlined 3 lessons, and I have the 4 others are like halfway there. So I think with one more session, I should be able to get my content to a place that I'm ready to record, which is really the whole part of build is like we got to get ready to record. Now, remember, there's levels to this game. I am just getting to the level where I can do a very good job one-hit wondering this and just clicking record and going and recording without having to do any edits. I'm also doing this under the space of a week. So I have the capacity of the week to do this. That's the whole point of this behind the scenes thing, which means that guess what? It's not going to be perfect. And there's certain moments where I have to say like, oh, I know I could do that better, but that's not really going to make a difference to you, the student, at the end of the day. And so if it's not going to make a huge difference to your learning journey, then really it's just my own perfectionism and my own stuff getting in the way of moving forward. So I think, it is a dance between knowing what to really spend your time on and what to let go of. And that's really the dance I've been doing for the last 90 minutes. I want to share with you one super quick hack that I use all the time when I'm taking outlines and especially like bullet point kind of text based Word doc or Google Doc outlines and transferring them to slides. And you can use it all over your business if you're someone who has parts of a project, much of which is in Google Doc. Okay, so I'm gonna share my screen. Okay, so over here, this is the outline section of Google Docs. Do you see that over here on the left-hand side over here? And so each of these, I used a heading. I used heading 2. And then I use a little emoji as a key to let myself know what's done, what's in progress. Like this is my little code for talk to Rachel and Courtney about it. And then things that don't have an emoji are still in draft phase. So you can use whatever key you want, but I find this so helpful to just get like at a glance, where am I at with this program? Now in the agency, we do that in ClickUp. Oh my gosh, let me tell you, we are ClickUp whizzes over here. We love ClickUp. Let me show you. Laura is amazing. Laura's one of our clients and we just handed her off to the design team, or I'm sorry, to the video team. But here you can see every module, every deliverable, right, that's included. Where are we at? If it's approved, if it's ready to record, we've got all of the asset links, all of the page proof links. So when someone says to me like signature program, this is what that looks like when you're done. Like this is the asset. And back to this idea of like 7-figure business owners look at a course as an asset, not as an offer. Guess what Laura can do? She's a business owner. She does really well. She can say, oh, this tiny little deliverable on the what is this called? Let me open it. The ABCs of Dementia Behaviors Guide. She helps people who are a caregiver of someone with dementia. She could take this, she could turn this into a lead magnet. She could take this and turn it into a when she's doing speeches and presentations, she could give it away at the end of her talk. She could take this ABCs and turn it into social media content. She could turn this ABCs guide into a workshop. Like that's what I mean when I say it's an asset, it's not just an offer, is think of all of the ways she could take this content that's been designed with instructional design in mind, with neurolinguistic programming infused. Like it's freaking baller when you look at it like that. So, this quick way of like, let me just see where I'm at is my very fast and dirty way. If you're DIYing it, do that. If you're an agency client, it's all on us and there's multiple team members and it's very different. So I hope that helps.